And welcome to the final edition of VH1. Today we're talking about Alone and Away. Now, you guys have definitely heard this one. I don't know how many versions of this song we have.
It's a lot.
We've demoed it like a million times. We've made several videos. You definitely know this one.
If you followed the page, then
you've
probably heard this one.
This was the first song we wrote as this current...
As Callused Wing.
Version of the band. It was started on April 20th, 2017.
Yes, 420.
Yep. The original title was just NOT, abbreviated. We don't remember what it stood for. But then the next time we demoed it, we added the Bees. So it was called Not the Bees.
No, you got it wrong. It was NOT the first time, and then the second time we came back to play it, the practice session file was called Bees in the Garage.
Because there were bees in the garage.
Yes, there were bees in the garage. And then we just combined the two for the Nicolas Cage quote, NOT the Bees.
There you go, Not the Bees.
Not the Bees.
Then, it pretty much completed around May 3rd, 2017, like the main...
Skeleton.
What you know of it now.
Muscle, yeah.
And this one I think has really the most collaborative efforts.
Yeah.
Because we all the other 4 tracks were mostly kind of me writing it alone, but Alone was just all 3 of us in the garage writing it together, coming up with stuff, throwing stuff out.
Yeah, because Alex is the one that came up with the little drum intro thing. I think I may have suggested a little riff change towards the end. We're all spitballing ideas for this song.
This was hash it out in the garage and get a frame down.
Yeah. I remember how this song started. You said to me, I want you to write the most post-rock thing you can think of. And I said, the most post-rock thing I can think of is Gold by Rocket Miner, so I'll play this instead. And that was the second most post-rock thing I can think of.
Was the intro to Alone?
Was the intro to Alone, yeah.
And actually, fun fact, for those fans of Better Call Saul out there, there was an episode in season 5 where Saul's in the desert, and when I was watching it, I was just watching it, and I'm like, wait a minute, that soundtrack's so familiar, so I rewinded it, and I was like, holy shit, it's literally the exact same first 6 notes that we did. But we wrote it in 2017, and that episode came out in 2019, so... I'm sitting here watching Better Call Saul, when suddenly the soundtrack decides to go... Oops, we stole another riff, guys.
We did it
We did it first, bro.
So suck it, AMC. I'll beat you to it.
Yeah. So this song, a lot of fun emotional bit here, because you got the clean intro, which kind of goes into the not quite fully dirty, but the swampy sort of. The reverb is thick on this one, kind of it's swampy almost when the guitar tone changes over and it crunches, and then it gets super heavy. So it's the return of all the themes. The intro is sort of it starts off kind of peaceful, your mind's not being assaulted, and then it starts getting swampy. You're getting murked back down in all these thoughts of guilt and grieving and everything else that has been coming up over and over and over again that you've been trying to escape through. And for the last time, at least in this EP, you get angry and you start screaming and trying to fight against it. This isn't a thing you can fight against, but you have to try because you have to kick the feeling. And then it all kind of washes out. And I feel like at the ending section of this whole thing, once it goes back clean again with the reverb pad effects that are going on the bass and the guitar riff, once everything goes back to clean and the keys come in, that's where I feel the actual healing in this story starts. Especially with the ending, it's all that shit that you were suffering through is finally starting to turn into stardust off in the distance and disappear. So I think it's a very complete journey from beginning to end. Even if you have to kind of imagine it harder in certain spots to make it click. I at least, when I go through the EP, that's what I hear for the whole journey.
It's funny, isn't it, how the first one we wrote ended up being the perfect thing for the end of
the ending, yeah.
I think this is the most complicated song on the record in terms of how many instruments there are and how many tone changes there are.
Yeah.
And how many time signature changes there are too.
Yeah.
I think this one's got more than Dirge does even. Because there's
little tricky bits in there.
Yeah, and there's clean guitar, there's overdriven guitar, there's distorted guitar, there's clean bass, there's
dirt bass, there's
bass,
affected bass.
there's affected guitar, there's like I got the rainbow machine in there.
Yeah.
There's synth, there's piano, there's a lot of stuff going on in this song. Like I guess that's a reflection of how long it's been around and how long we've had to tool with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot going on for Alone and Away, and this is the one that went without a title for the longest time. For a long time, we were just calling this one Bees.
Yeah.
And I think it was on a car ride to Guitar Center, I believe. It was like the day before I had thought of the title, and I threw it out in the car as either Alone and Away or Away and Alone, and obviously we went with the former. I don't really remember where the title came from, because this was, again, a really long time ago, but...
Yeah.
I mean, Alone and Away is, it's kind of self-explanatory, right? It's kind of the vibe it gave me, is you're far away from home and you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And, you're kind of struggling to deal with that.
If not from home, then at least far away from where you started.
Yeah. You
Which,
can see it, you can
thematically.
You can see it either way. I see it as far away from home. But, what do I know? Make up your own mind.
Yeah, we don't want to spoon feed you what this album is.
There's another good fact. This was originally written with a vocalist in mind, because there was a period of time we were thinking about doing that.
Yeah.
There was even, we had a guy named Hussein who played violin, and there was like a whole violin section. Or the beginning notes were supposed to be on violin.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Didn't work out.
He wrote lyrics for it too.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, shame. Would have been pretty cool, but...
I think you'll all enjoy. I think you'll all enjoy the final product that we got. If you've heard it on the channel, you know how a lot of it goes, but it's been tuned up. It's been studiofied. It's
been
very
professionally
nice.
done.
It's been professionally recorded. Yes.
A lot of money has been thrown at it.